Hello to my true comic book readers out there, my Frontline here, and welcome to my comic review that I'll be reviewing from IDW. And this comic book's actually really cool, and I'm actually glad I'll be reviewing this. As you can see from the title, I'll be reviewing digitally Ghostbusters Annual 2017. And there's something really interesting that is at the end of this comic book, so stay tuned at the end of this video because I will announce what that will be. So without further ado, let's get into this comic book. So since this is an annual, there are 9 stories in total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to brief the story a little bit so that way I don't give you guys the whole story, because I want you guys to definitely pick this up. And yeah, so without further ado, let's start with the first story of where Winston was. So, Winston is actually talking to these 2 news reporters about the case research of the Scalarelli brothers. Now, for those of you who have seen Ghostbusters 2, we have seen that in the courthouse. But in this case, Winston was actually saying that he encountered with a Scalarelli entity from the pink ooze, and we get a little backstory about that, where this person actually came out of it. And here's some artwork which is drawn really amazing, as I've always seen in Ghostbusters comic books. And the other Scalarelli was actually Mama Scalarelli, and she was the brains behind a criminal organization based out of Albany, and we get a little bit of a backstory on that. So Winston, trying to think of how to trap her, he gets the trap from the car, and then everything about that actually turned out to work out, and that was it, because he was called to do his next mission, and that was the end of that story. So that was the first story. So the second story is called Haunted America, A Prairie Hell Companion. And for this one, this talked about a totally different ghost that was a weird ghost that we saw in the first one. Artwork did change a little bit, but still good artwork. And there's this person who comes to Iowa, and he talks with Mel. I think it was Venkman that oh yeah, it's Venkman that she actually talks to. And you know, Venkman has that thing about always cracking up jokes and all that stuff. So they were actually talking about this ghost of horrors of the Midwest, of what's going on, and they just are going to go after the ghosts that they saw before. And Venkman, let's just say he gets orange slimed a little bit with some magic stuff, and from the ghosts that he captured, there were spirits that came out that could be put to better rest now, because there was a little story behind that where the ghosts weren't able to rest, and that was the second story. The third story is called Second City Ghostbusters. Now, some of the Ghostbusters are the Chicago Ghostbusters that appear in this annual. So there was a little bit of a story of that. And they have a case where they go to the Trax Hotel. And the hotel that they go to is plenty of stuff that Chicago Ghostbusters go to investigate. And there's like weird stuff that goes on there, and I like the artwork that was shown in this story. I thought that was actually really cool. And this ghost that they went to capture, and this one was very tricky, and it's gonna be really something to capture that one. But one ghost who actually sacrificed herself into the trap for other reasons. You have to read the comic book, but it was really an awesome story for that one. Then the next story, which I believe we're at the 4th one, is called Ghostbusters 101 Prelude. And this is like a totally different point of view, where this person who is the niece of Janine, actually gets into some action with some paranormal investigations of using the meter to find the ghosts. And the way that they do that, along with playing with stuff that they're not supposed to be playing because they're not really licensed to be Ghostbusters, I liked how they actually used it. And then the Ghostbusters who came in the end actually said that they will teach them to actually be the Ghostbusters. So I thought that was actually a really nice scene in that story, along with some great artwork as well. Next story is called The Origins of Slimer. Now, for those of you who are fans of Slimer, this is something you'll definitely love to read about, because they believe that Slimer was a chef before he turned to a ghost, who worked in a kitchen and stuff like that. So with that, as they're trying to figure out who Slimer was before time, with some very weird stuff, he actually talks saying that he was actually a king of some type, which was really weird there, but that's really all that they actually showed for this part of Slimer, because everyone's just in complete shock because they need to document and scan all this stuff, so I thought that was cool. Then the next story is called Pagan's Bust. Now, Pagan is actually Kali Griffin's cat. Now, this cat, first of all, I never knew that Kali ever had a cat before, so this cat, who could actually see paranormal ghosts, actually uses a trap to capture the ghosts, and that was the end of that. I mean, some of the stories were like really short, so I thought that was actually pretty funny. Then we have this one, Slimer in All That Slitters, for this story. And that was just like a little bit of a commercial, and then it was to do a Primo Spuffles cakes. Now here's the big thing. The big thing that they have for the end of this story is that something is going on in New York City, because that's where the Ghostbusters are. And in any dimension, people know who to call. But here's the thing, when it comes to busting ghosts, you never know who might answer. And what does that lead to? Well, coming March of this year, the Ghostbusters face their greatest challenge. This time, everyone answers the call in Ghostbusters 101. This is going to be a 6-issue comic book that will be starting in March, and I am really looking forward to actually reading this and reviewing it here on Comic Frontline, because guys, you know, I'm really just so glad that I actually read this comic book, knowing that there's actually going to be hopes of another Ghostbusters adventures that we'll be seeing coming to a comic store near us in a month now, because we're in February. So I'm going to be really looking forward to that, and really happy news for that. So the rating I give for Ghostbusters Annual 2017, I give it between a 4 to 4.5 out of 5. Don't get me wrong, the artworks were great, along with the stories, and some were really interesting stories, some that I never knew before actually. And for those of you who are excited as I am for Ghostbusters 101, then you'll definitely be picking that up when it comes out in March. And that's all I have to say for that. So with that, everybody, that's my comic review of Ghostbusters Annual 2017. Before I go, don't forget to check out sources of ComicFrontline.com, ZoneForPodcast.com, and the YouTube gaming channel Frontline Gaming Zone, the #1 source for comic and game-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Click that subscribe button to Comic Frontline today, where we have lots of videos that we upload daily for you guys. And as always, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section, likes, dislikes, or any questions you have about the story. Did you read the comic book, and are you excited as I am for Ghostbusters 101 in March? Let me know, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. To all you comic book readers out there, Mike Comic Frontline saying take care, and as always, don't forget to keep watching. Later, everybody.